Hello, Targar friends. Hey, everybody. It's Jason Blaha here, and once again, it is time for another Orc Mode workout. A quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos every day, please remember to click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated, so just reach down there and do that. Thank you so much. Safety bar squat PR. Another 10-pound one. Now, I saw some people on the preview of it, kind of the teaser I put up before the vlog. Someone said, man, it looked like you left more in the tank. Maybe, I don't know. I'll be honest, it was pretty heavy. All right, last time when I did the 491, people said you left in the tank, and I agreed. I did the 501, and I'm like, I could have got a hair more. I made a 10-pound jump today, and it was pretty tough. It felt grindy to me. And I know people look at it on camera like it didn't look grindy. Yeah, but it felt grindy. What you're seeing and what I felt are two different things. And definitely even noticing some hip shift and stuff happening in it. Not so much with this one, but when I go to the 511, yep. But that being said, I am very, very, very happy with this lift. Because what was the goal that I said? I've got to get this bar to 500. We did it last week, and then we hit 511. Okay. I have to be happy about that. And anyone who follows me has to be happy about it. In fact, even people who don't even like me, okay, even people who don't even like me got to admit, considering where my strength was at this bar, you have to admit I have put in some damn work. Right, to bring up the weak points to get this bar up to 511 when I was in the low 400s on it. You can't hate on that. You can't. Even people who don't like me, who train, right? And you guys know who you are. You watch these things. Come on. I put in some work. Missed the deadlift today, though, and I decided from this point, because it started getting real heavy against those chains, that I was going to micro-load it and try to do 2.5-pound jumps. I literally did a 2.5-pound jump, and I missed it, and it stuck right at my sticking point. Now, what do we notice on these? On the last few lifts on these, as I've gone up, I slow at the sticking point, and then when I hit that sticking point, I explode. And it doesn't matter that I'm 20 pounds heavier at the top versus the sticking point. I just explode through it every time. What does this tell us? My lockouts are strong. Okay, my grip is doing well. My ability to follow through is good. Okay, because even that, look, we just come right up once we get past the knee. Once we reach the knee, so you reach the middle of the knee, the bar just boom. So I've reached my linear limit. People say, well, oh no, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to come back and do something? No, why would I do this lift again? This is just a variation. This isn't like this is a classic lift. This is a, moderate amount of chain. I just wanted progressive overload to test the strength curve, okay, for a short time, and then when it stalls, we change lifts. You don't just keep beating a lift like that, a variation, when you stall. You've got to change it. And I can tell that no matter how strong I get at the different points, man, hitting that weak point is a problem. And I might even have to do a phase where I come in and do below the knee block pulls from that sticking point for rep work, for maxes. We're not going to do it just yet. I need the full development. So I decided to do deficit work for the reps today, and then we'll get over into it when we get there. We're going to maybe max on deficits for a while. Then 80% of that new PR for 2 sets of 5, relatively challenging. Now, interestingly enough, these were nowhere near as hard as 80% of my cambered bar, which makes sense because we're talking about 74 more pounds of weight. Well, 80% of that is still going to be something in the range of 60 more pounds, right? 465 versus 406, even with a bar that's much harder for me, it didn't beat me up the same. I felt a lot of quad, right? I felt a lot of quad. And, a lot of my training is going to hit more and more quads, especially if I go over to deficit deadlifts. Deficit deadlifts work quads pretty decently. So we're going to rotate these 2 bars still. We're going to keep trying to PR on these bars, and what do you think we're going to do? Since I need these bars to go up, if they stall, guess what? We go to chains. Okay, we go to chains. I'm doing my own weird version of the way I'm doing the conjugate lifts. I'm taking some of these lifts And I'm rotating some of them through the week because I'm doing multiple max effort days, rotating the lifts back and forth from different bars and things. And then if those stall, we rotate the lift. Okay, we don't keep beating a lift that's not going up. And then we train that lift, and then we train weak points. It's accessory work. Deficit deadlifts, because I don't have a current true max, I decided to be a little conservative, and I just wanted to get maybe a couple of decent reps where that sticking point has to explode through it, right? Where we're working through that sticking point off the dead pull from the bottom. Now, I didn't really grind at the sticking point because this is too light, but I went with 445, right? For 2 sets of 5. Now, when I go to test it, I'll have better numbers to work with, but I wanted to get back into the groove of deficit pulls. Okay? Get back in the groove of it. And these were reasonably challenging. Now, due to percentages, is this a lot of effective reps? No, it's probably only 1 effective rep per set. Okay? We'll be honest. Like that last 2 sets, those were effective sets for those squatting. This is a little bit milder because, again, I missed a deadlift. And I wanted to at least try to get an effective rep and get just a little bit of work right through that sticking point coming from a harder position, get into the groove of deficit deadlifts. Now I'm going to work deficit pulls, I think, for a bit. Okay, we'll work the deficit pulls and get strong on those and then see where it takes us. But you know what? That's going to create a synergy with all this back squatting because my quads are getting worked a little more than usual. This hits my quads. We're hitting the hamstrings hard. So really a lot of my weak point training at the moment, what are we focusing on? For lower body stuff, quads and hamstrings. My hamstrings need work on my deadlift. I feel like at this point, some people said, I don't know, I don't think your upper back is that weak. We're going to keep training the upper back, but realistically, we know it's probably more quads that need to grow. For the squat, hamstrings for the deadlift. My low back and everything is stupid strong. Doesn't mean we don't train it, but there's a little bit more focus on those. Upper body, upper chest, triceps. They're going to get a big priority because I know those will bring my bench up. And they'll bring my pressing strength across the board up. I mean, I have a pressing deficit with the incline. Well, that upper chest will fix that weak link. It'll help both incline overhead. And we train more triceps, a little more tricep specialization again to go with that upper chest work. But it doesn't mean we don't work the whole chest. It's like this stuff. It doesn't mean we don't work all the back. I decided to work these back in. And again, I'm just going to build up. I don't have good maxes at the moment because I haven't maxed in just a bit on these. So I'm just going to get some volume, get some work in, get a couple of challenging sets and see if I can progress the weight up. But I'm doing sets of 20. So I did the same thing last time for a couple sets of 20 afterwards with the cambered bar. And these were actually relatively hard today. With only 151, 2 sets of 20, with this bar were pretty hard. I felt a lot of back, a lot of my middle back, big time. Felt my neck a little bit too. So working a lot of those erectors all up through the torso, right? Working them really hard, probably some mid-trap, lower trap. All that area felt pretty lit up from these. So again, even if the primary movers per se may not be, we don't know how effective the reps are. Just a little bit of volume for back off, getting the movement pattern down, getting some blood flow. But I know that area got worked because it felt pumped up a bit. But keeping in mind, we just did squats and with that bar. We did deficit deadlifts. So that area is going to be fatigued. This just kind of went and made sure we finish it. We're going to build it up. Probably not much hypertrophy from this workout because this is still fairly light, but it was still challenging. So did my 2 sets of 20 with this. And then we went in and just did my normal supplemental work afterwards. Because what do we need to do? We need to keep doing the reverse hyper. People will say, well, Jason, you're really strong in the reverse hyper. Right? We don't think your glutes and erectors are weak link. Well, we know based upon my cambered bar squat versus my other bars, we know my glutes and spinal erectors are not a weak link. We know that they overpower most of my other muscles. Realistically, if I had to gauge the strongest muscles I currently have in my body, it's going to be glutes and low back. Okay, when I compare it to everything else, those are my strongest muscles, and it shows on the various lifts and bars. It doesn't mean we skip the reverse hypers. The reverse hypers are here to stay because I need that area to stay strong, and I need to keep it recovered. but our focus is going to be hamstrings. And the reverse hypers work hamstrings. You know what? Some of these slightly narrower stance good mornings work a little more hamstring. Okay? We're going to mess with some of them with a slightly narrower stance. So we want to get a good hip hinge for the hamstring in, after the squatting and pulling. So I'll rotate the 2 bars probably. Then we really push these glute ham raises. Now, after having done those, though, my hamstrings are fatigued. So I'm struggling to get PRs right now on these glute ham raises. Right? I'm kind of stuck at 3 sets of 13 now. Was it the 3 sets of 10? I built it up to like 12, then 13. I'm a little stuck, but that's okay because my hamstrings are pretty fatigued when we get here. And realistically, in terms of my strength on this lift, this is the strongest I believe that I've been on this lift, is where I'm at now. So and again, it's a mainstay. Nothing hits my hamstrings harder than this. It hits them differently than anything else. It hits them hard. I have a love-hate relationship with it. But, being worked really hard. And again, I'll get some people, like other coaches, I know Michael likes to come in and say, like, your hamstrings are stupidly strong. But they're not 700-pound deadlift strong. Okay? They're not. What's a goal? I don't know, get to sets of 20 with this plate. That'd be a good goal. Or to upgrade to a 25 and be able to do sets of 10. Do 3 by 10 with a 25. Do 3 sets of 20 with this 10. All right, that would be good targets to try to work towards. And that's going to take me a while. Okay, I've regained the muscle memory off of doing the glute ham raises again. I've got to accrue new tissue, or at least new tissue that I probably haven't had. I mean, yes, I've been stronger in my late 20s, but my deadlift wasn't that much stronger than it is now, and I probably had a stronger back. So, I don't know that my hamstrings aren't the strongest they've ever been in my life at this point, but they are limiting my deadlift. We look at where I stick. We could even make the argument for quads. Some people would say that's impossible. Some coaches would say where I'm sticking could be needing more quads. We're training the quads hard. Usually the more likely answer there is going to be a little bit of hamstring. So we just beef those suckers up. Keep getting those hamstrings stronger. And you know what? Your deadlift will never get weaker by getting your hamstrings stronger. That's for sure. Build them. Same thing, the knee stability. I mean, I'm squatting a lot more weight these days. Those squat weights are coming up. I plan on getting past 600. I'm not setting a squat goal and saying that's a more short-term goal, right? Yeah, I want a 600 squat. That doesn't mean that's going to be the best that I get. We don't just say, hey, we reached a 600, we're done. That's not how this game works. Only way the 600 we say we're done is if I decide to cut down and trim a bunch of body weight down. Well, then 600 is phenomenal, right? I mean, you start talking about if I were to drop to 198 or something, 600 in a 198 Masters 2 is ludicrous. I think there's only 3 guys in the world who've ever done it. I'd need to double check that. Ever. So, that's in that class on any federation. So, maybe then, but unless I plan on doing that, or unless I do that, I'm not going to worry about it. We get past 600. And then if we get up past 600, it doesn't matter. So what? We trim down later and drop to 600. Well, there we go. So we get to 600. I need to get that safety bar to 600, right? You get that cambered bar to like 700. That's what we need to be seeing. That's a long term. Then we do these reverse hypers, did my 560 for 3 by 20. So just to finish things off, get my restoration work, because I don't do these on off days anymore. I find that my recovery is better when I don't. I don't do a lot of restoration work these days. Okay? I just do conditioning work. I do grip training. I do ab training. That's what I do on my off days. So when people say, oh, you don't show all your workouts, well, I don't show my cardio. But I used to show cardio. It's just I don't want to make that many videos and film that much crap and try to deal with it. It's just, it's too much. I have other stuff going on, guys. I have time to get these 4 videos. I have time to voice over them. I really just don't have the time to do it. And ultimately, at the end of the day, people have to remember that this channel, while it's important, this channel is not my primary business focus. It's not my primary income. It doesn't take anywhere near even a third of my work time per week. It really doesn't. Other than, again, the filming the workouts and the voiceovers. So, again, it's these are probably going to stay. I'd like to do this indefinitely. I would love to keep uploading my workouts the rest of my life. That is, in theory, the plan. I mean, plans can change, but that's the theory. And just keep that going forever. And we'll see where it goes. But, things change. But today's workout was good. Got a good squat PR. Really happy with it. Happy with things overall. I mean, the deadlift miss, I knew I was getting close to missing anyway. Somewhat predictable. So we live with it and we change lifts. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.